What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am the Void Viking, and today I wanted to talk about where should you stream in 2020. There is so many options to go through, but today I'm going to be talking about the main four that people talk about the most, which is going to be Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Mixer. On the screen, I'm going to be putting up some data so you can kind of follow along with some of the numbers that I bring up, but I'll also be going over my personal experiences as I have actually streamed on all four of these before. So the first one I want to go through is Twitch. Twitch is obviously the most popular. Almost everyone, especially in YouTube, knows about Twitch at this point. It's going to be the oldest streaming platform. It was always a streaming platform, originally called Justin.tv, then moved now to Twitch after it was bought by Amazon. That's not why we're here, though. The big thing is, why should you stream there, or why shouldn't you stream there, for example? So I've talked about this a lot on stream, and I've even made TikTok videos and Instagram videos about this subject, but the visibility on Twitch is at an all-time low. It is incredibly hard to get noticed when there is millions of people streaming on the platform. There is a lot of viewership, however, there is also a lot of people streaming on there, so finding how you can break through on Twitch is probably the hardest feat. And even myself at my peak, I was still not really able to do it that well. However, taking the data from other streamers, we can kind of take a look to see how they did it and why it worked so well for them. So the main thing to look at is evergreen content. So you'll see every big streamer has a YouTube channel, a Twitter, an Instagram, even a TikTok dedicated to their brand. Now that's going to be the #1 most important thing for you, because without the visibility of other platforms pushing the viewers to your stream, it's going to be extremely hard to grow. The reason for this is because when you start, you'll have 0 to 1 viewers. Maybe if you get a couple friends in, you'll be at around 3. But if you're streaming something like Fortnite or Call of Duty or something, you're going to be on the very bottom of the list behind thousands of people. And what is giving people the reason to scroll all the way down there to find your channel? You have to be really interesting, or you have an outside push of people. Now, even if you're really interesting, people still don't want to scroll the way down. I personally actually filter from low to high because I find the low streamers to be very interactive. We'll get into interactive a little bit later on other platforms. Posting things on YouTube is the easiest way for people to find your Twitch. And the way that I can show this works, obviously, is because for me, I watch YouTube videos religiously. And in fact, it's kind of embarrassing. I'll put a photo up on the screen. I watch about 11 hours average of YouTube per day. That being said, I do run it in the background, and I usually have it running some sort of videos, but that's where I've learned everything about streaming was from YouTube. Those people who make those kinds of content are on Twitch, and I've now found them on Twitch, and you have people like Ashley Christ, who has become a Twitch partner because of her success on YouTube. You have Harris Heller, who is also a Twitch partner, and he is very successful, makes a full-time livable income, I should say, from Twitch, but does YouTube videos about streaming, and a lot of hardware reviews and things like that, and he blew up on YouTube and moved him over there. So if you take all these people and you analyze them, and you analyze people like Nick A30, for example, he moved from YouTube to Twitch, of course, with a buyout, basically, and recently in his stream today, he said that if he had to restart, or his recommendation is always to grow your YouTube first, your YouTube audience, because it's evergreen content. For example, you could have a video posted 2 years ago, and if it becomes relevant and YouTube decides to recommend it in the algorithm, it could blow up. And all of a sudden, you have 10 more viewers in your stream consistently because you had posted something so long ago. Streaming is such a time-consuming gig that doing it constantly is going to require some outside force to push them in, because people aren't just going to watch. If you're streaming 8 hours a day to 1 viewer, you're not really going anywhere. That being said, Twitch still holds the biggest market share. I believe it's around 70%. And they've been, successful their entire timeline. They're, of course, owned by Amazon, so they have a lot of financial backing. Every single one of the streaming platforms, by the way, does have huge financial backing. So Twitch has Amazon, Mixer has Microsoft, YouTube has Google, and Facebook is Facebook. So to break everything down with Twitch, for the most part, in basic terms, if you're making content outside, one of the biggest recommendations I can give is TikTok. Their algorithm is unmatched. It's amazing. It's incredible. And it gives you exactly what you need to see. If you follow streamers, it will recommend other streamers, and their views have blown up. I have a TikTok video personally that has over 900,000 views, and it was just talking about the personality that matches the game you play. And that brought people into my Twitch channel by itself. So let's move on a little bit. The next one I want to talk about is Mixer. Mixer's kind of a unique case because, of course, most of you probably know that Ninja and Shroud have actually moved over to Mixer during a big buyout deal. Of course, at first, this seemed like an amazing move for Mixer because it blew their numbers up out of proportion, like insanely huge. However, after looking at the stats recently, their numbers have actually gone down from the height that they were back to where they were before for viewership. Now, a lot more people know about Mixer, so you can't really buy that kind of branding. Well, technically they did, but word of mouth is going to be the best, and the way they did that was buying Ninja and Shroud. However, what a lot of people say, I believe Doc said it too, Dr. Disrespect, was you can't buy communities, which is extremely true. The big thing about this is Mixer has an incredible community, and it's a very positive place to stream. However, their viewership is low compared to how many people are actually streaming on the platform. So with that, you get a bunch of people streaming on a platform because Ninja and Shroud moved, which made a lot more people view it, which made people think that if you stream there with a lower viewer count, you might be able to grow faster. However, as we've seen, that's not the case, because now we have, you know, so many streamers on there, but not the viewership that they were supposed to be getting. It looks like all the growth that was coming is with Ninja and Shroud. So nobody else is really sharing that wealth as much. Another big thing to look at when monetizing, Mixer is incredible because they let you affiliate on day one, so you can start gaining embers, which are basically bits on Twitch. Big problem there, though, is that the people and the ecosystem that spend money there is way smaller than Twitch, YouTube, Facebook combined. There's a streamer on Mixer and Twitch. I'll put his name right here. I can't quite remember it, but he was making a YouTube video, and I could see in the corner his sub count. His sub count on Mixer was like half of what his sub count was on Twitch, which is like financially helping him out. However, he had probably like, I think 3 times the amount of followers on Mixer, so his visibility was way higher on Mixer, but he was monetarily making more money from Twitch. So that's one big thing to think about if you're going after this for monetary reasons, that Mixer is probably not the best platform for that. Next up is going to be YouTube. YouTube is obviously the biggest platform in the world, the second largest search engine for video content. A lot of gaming content, and in fact, their gaming live has boosted it exponentially as of like 2020. Hey, Void Viking here. I just wanted to stop in real quick in the middle of this video to kind of put a graph on screen. I wasn't sure how I could explain this without putting in this piece of video. So real quick, let's look at this. Hours watched by platform in 2019. As you can see on Twitch, this is 9,007. It's 9,768.6 million hours watched. So that's how many hours watched were on YouTube. YouTube Gaming Live, so specifically live content, was watched for 2,884,000,000 hours. Mixer at 357.1 million. So Mixer obviously has the lowest. Currently, Facebook isn't sharing stats. I have been looking around to find them. If I find them, you'll see them in the video. However, that's something to note. So in 2019, Twitch was huge, YouTube was getting bigger, and Mixer was still on the lowest end. Hours streamed by each platform is the interesting part. So basically making my point was that 359 million hours were streamed in 2019 on Twitch. So that matches their growth of hours watched. I would prefer this to be lower and then this to be the same it is now, but that's just how it is. Mixer is the big problem here. But first, we'll look at YouTube. 48.2 million hours streamed, 2 billion hours watched. That's the big thing to note. Of course, YouTube will probably be going off the analytics of on past live streams being watched. However, 48 million hours streamed, but only 2 billion hours watched is really big, because that means that not that many people are streaming compared to how many people are watching. And as I said before, Mixer is the biggest problem, and this just more kind of gives a graph to show my point. As you can see, 80.3 million people or million hours streamed on 2019. However, the hours watched is 357.1 million. So you can see the big issue here is that at this point, there's 80 million hours being streamed, but only 357 are being watched. So that basically shows that there's too many people streaming and not enough people watching. So back to the video. I think the biggest problem with YouTube is their algorithm for lives. Finding lives is incredibly difficult. Even if you go to the gaming section, even if you go to the live section, it still recommends videos that were previously live because they focus on evergreen content. I find that when I YouTube streamed, it was difficult for me to retain any viewership until after my stream was posted. Because if I went live and 5 people watched it consistently, that's great. But then after it posts, it can then consistently gain viewership. So that's a huge pro and a huge con. So if streaming is your main goal, YouTube probably isn't your main focus for streaming. You should, however, be posting content there, like we mentioned, evergreen content. That being said, I do think that some people can succeed. Courage JD, for example, moved to YouTube and now has a higher viewership than he did on Twitch. But in his last stream, he had mentioned something about almost hitting 2,000 members, which is far less than his Twitch subs were. So you can see that he's obviously making a lot of money from streaming on YouTube because they pay him to do so, but also because his videos get ads and he has sponsors and things like that. But specifically looking at the monthly income from memberships or subs on Twitch, he's technically probably making less. Obviously, I don't know his cut. I don't even know what he would make from that, but numbers wise, it's lower. And that's mainly just because Twitch has a spending culture. There's a culture behind giving people money on Twitch. And that's why it makes it so difficult. Because if there was only one platform that had everything together, it would be kind of perfect, right? Well, now we should talk about Facebook and why I think that Facebook's the best platform to stream on in 2020. I have my own personal issues with them because their support is terrible. That being said, if you don't have to call support for any reason or talk to support, you might actually have the best options. I will first get out of the way the biggest stigma on Facebook. No, you cannot stream as a gaming video creator to your own page. Theoretically, you could, but it's encouraged not to, and I'll explain why. A lot of people that I talk to don't want to stream on Facebook because they're afraid that their family's going to see it or that one of their friends is going to watch and things like that. They don't want them to see it. If you want those people to see it, if you're on the other half that wants them, I don't mind. You can always share your stream to your main Facebook page. However, when you create a gaming video creator page, it separates it completely from you. So this is one person and another person. So there's me, Gunnar Hudson, on Facebook, and then there's me, the Void Viking, on Facebook. Two completely separate entities. So with that being said, the reason I think it's the best is because Facebook has a weird medium. So I'm sure everyone on Facebook has seen a bunch of like the Facebook videos that pop around, just pop on your feed when you're scrolling down. That's basically a perfect representation of like a YouTube algorithm put into a social media. So they're making ad revenue off of those videos. When you see an ad and you hate having to skip through it, they're making money on that, just like they would on YouTube. If you go into the actual dashboard for Facebook, you'll see how much there is actually to do in there. I mean, you can post full-length videos, you can stream, you can make posts, you can make photos, and literally everything you could do on Instagram and YouTube mixed together. But then with the biggest pro is the share function. So on Facebook, you share memes, I share memes, share political posts, anything like that. Streams and videos can be shared to anyone that's following you. So if you shared it on your personal page, everyone who's friends with you will see it. Well, the reason that's so big is because the growth is incredibly quick. So when you first start it, it actually tells you to invite all your Facebook friends. Now, I don't have as many as probably some of you do, but if you have like 10,000 Facebook friends and you invite them and even just 1,000 of them follow and like the page, you're already super close to being able to become a partner. And that is huge. Then every time you go live, you share it on your main page, or you now have 1,000 people watching and you had a high concurrent viewership, which is amazing. After a little bit, you can become what they call a level up creator, which is essentially affiliate on Twitch. However, without the sub button, you can then earn stars, which is like bits or embers from Mixer. Stars are very unique because they're priced differently than other sites. They're priced higher than the dollar amount. So you get 1 penny per star. So when someone's buying $1's worth, you are getting the full dollar, but it costs them $1.40. That being said, there is a similar purchasing culture on Facebook. A lot of people on Marketplace, a lot of people watching around, buying things from the ads. So it's very normal for people to want to donate to you using that. There is also, of course, your Streamlabs or Stream Elements link in the description that they can donate to as well. Monetarily, it makes sense. A lot of streamers have moved there. This guy's Toast was paid to move over. Zero, the Super Smash Bros. Streamer, was paid to move over. A bunch of people, they have really big people on the platform like Stone Mountain 64, I think that's 64. Stone Mountain, basically. He is extremely big on the platform. He's a big YouTuber as well, and he has a very loyal audience there that he makes a full-time income streaming on Facebook, which is pretty incredible. So the big thing to focus on is that Facebook, with its high visibility, opposite of Twitch, and still has a good spending culture, not as popular as Twitch, but still there, and a really high concurrent viewer list. So I've seen people with like 5,000 concurrent viewers on Facebook, which is insane because Twitch with 5,000 is like a big partner like Mizkiv. Or you have on YouTube, which is usually like a lot of the channels that don't even get recommended to me because I only see people with like 500 people watching concurrently usually. Mixer 5K is like what Shroud is at right now. So 5K on Facebook is huge. I mean, you'd be the top of the charts. That being said, there's not really a top of the charts. Their algorithm is sorted to recommend whatever they think is most interesting to you, not whoever's the biggest. So if you watch a lot of Apex, you'll see a lot of Apex streamers. If you watch a lot of GTA, you'll see GTA streamers. You'll still get here and there a little bit of recommendations from other games, but it won't be like on Twitch where if you go on it, you're just going to watch the top streamer or the top 10. Anyone that's under 100 viewers, you're probably not going to notice unless you just prefer finding and looking for that content. That being said, if you take that Facebook mentality and mix it with the evergreen content, you might actually have something amazing. So if you take your YouTube videos, promote them, and get them big on YouTube, and then you move those viewers and funnel them into your Facebook, I mean, with the share function and everything, you have a very easy route to grow. There are a couple downsides. Like I said, the support system is terrible. I'm in the midst of trying to get a name change on there, and they're just not budging with it for some reason. The dashboard, which will show on screen now, is awful. It looks like old Twitch dashboard, but not in dark mode, and it's really terrible to look at. However, it does have an insane amount of functionality to it, so I kind of understand, but if they did a rework on it, I think it could be amazing. The last thing would be is my personal biggest con is that there is a really high chance for viewership and visibility. However, I found that my Facebook streams usually host mostly people who I'm already friends with. A lot of people will pop in and say hello, but the chat is very slow and stale on Facebook. A lot of people watch, but not a lot of people talk, so you have to be ready to be interesting. Number one was Twitch, low visibility, high revenue streams. You can become a real celebrity on Twitch. The chances of that happening, though, are super low unless you're creating really good content on other sites. Mixer, unfortunately, right now is probably the weakest choice. It's just not gaining the traction it thought it would, and people already have Twitch. They already have Facebook. They already have YouTube. They don't want to have to download another app to watch a couple streamers they might like. I definitely recommend checking out Mixer because the communities are insanely great. Even their partners will talk to you in chat. You don't have to just donate them money like on Twitch to talk to people. YouTube Live is really unique. I'm sure some of you didn't even know that some of the streamers or gamers you follow do stream on YouTube. It's really hard. If they fixed their algorithm to promote smaller streams that were relatable to the game, similar to what Facebook does, but they also redid their gaming and trending UI a little bit so it wasn't so hard to find live streams, I genuinely think they could be the biggest streaming platform. Imagine you're on YouTube and you're scrolling past your recommended, and then it's just a group of like 6 recommended live streams or like 10 recommended live streams, and those are all around games that you watch. So then you can find content that's live constantly on those, and I think that would be perfect. The last one, of course, was Facebook. Facebook, I do believe to be the best option right now. I have a friend who streams on there. She originally started on Twitch and then moved over to Facebook and found her calling there. She's, I think, at like 2.8 thousand followers and really high concurrent viewership. I think she's actually about to become a partner, and she just started streaming herself playing PS4 over there, just playing Apex Legends, and now she's been growing extremely quickly. For that being said, I think that you can take all these into account and kind of make your best judgment on which one best fits. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to check out the links in the description below. I have the links to all the streamers I talked about, all the websites I talked about, and any other information I can find I'll link down below, as well as my information. So make sure to follow me on Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. TikTok if you want to as well. I make content on all 4 platforms, and a lot of it's actually separate from each other, so it's not just reposted BS. So make sure you go follow me on all of those platforms. It would mean a lot to me. Make sure you subscribe, like, and turn on notifications for this video so you don't miss another one. I will be coming out with another video, a little bit different, but it's going to be talking about the best YouTubers to watch for information like this. Lastly, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.